Café and Networking Podcast promotes successful business owners, business experts throughout the world. I'm Tom Reaoch, known as the King of Networking, connecting people from my unique communication lab in Brazil. And today we talk with Yvette Walker, joining us from Norma, Oklahoma in the United States. Yvette Walker is the creator and host of the Positively Joy podcast and the Positively Joy Christian website. She's a speaker and author, and Yvette has worked in media for most of her career. Currently, she is the assistant dean at Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma, board member at the Society of Professional Journalists. So, Yvette, what does the title Positively Joy mean?
Well, there's a funny story behind that, but I will keep it short. Positively Joy is a faith-based podcast, basically talking about how to help people find their joy. People are seeking joy today, and they don't know how to find it.
Right.
People are chasing lots of things. They are chasing people. They are chasing substances. They are chasing just anything they think that they can claim joy, when in fact, the only true joy to be found is through Christianity and through God the Father. And that is what I talk about on the podcast. I also interview people with really interesting stories that help lecture and help illustrate this point that they have found true joy through the God the Father and through Jesus Christ.
What I see, you say chasing. What I've seen, which I don't see, people really aren't. They seem to be running away from, and they may not really know where to run to. And obviously, we think it's joy, but what I feel is that they're running from something. They really don't understand where the real joy is.
I agree. I think that I can definitely see your point. I think that we are sitting at our devices, consuming lots of media on social media that people may think bring them joy. They may be engaging in certain substances that they think bring them joy. But you're right, they probably are doing this because they're running away from something that they don't understand, and they are not running to the true nature of joy, which is God's nature. God's true nature is love and joy. And so, yeah, I can see that.
So sometimes it's not even running anywhere. It's just sitting down and reflecting, taking a couple minutes to think of, to clear the brain.
Oh, so true. You have got to create some time, carve some time out in your day so that you can do just that. And usually the best way to do that is to spend some time, as you say, in quiet. It's always great to go back to the Word, to read the Bible. And I know some people will say it's boring. I don't want to do that. There's so much in the Bible. I got to say that I've been a Christian my whole life, but I really only started reading the Bible within the last 5 years. And there's so much in there for inspiration, for understanding, and to help us understand this. And in fact, the signature scripture of the podcast is in the Gospel of John, where basically Jesus gives you a DIY. He tells you how to find joy. He says, abide in the Father's love and do his will, and we will be filled with the only joy that will complete you.
And it's simple. It's complex and simple at the same time, because people
Correct.
who do study the Bible, they absolutely study each one of the words, the context. And it's probably, it's the oldest and the best and the most read book, and probably the book that, constantly every day, day and night, people are going back to the words. And there the word is crucial. So you shared those words in your podcast. So it's interactive, it's conversational.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And back to the funny story, it's important for us to be open to the Father's promptings. And in fact, in season 4 right now, we're really talking about that, to live your life as if God is your wingman, And
Right.
So in the very beginning of this, when I was starting the podcast, I thought I would call it Finding Joy, Seeking Joy, or something like that. And I realized, those names are taken. What should I do? And I heard very clearly Positively Joy. Now, this is how I know that this came from the Father. Positively Joy is not grammatically correct. I know this. I'm a journalist, and grammar is important to me. So I never would have chosen that. I never would have chosen that for myself. but that is what he said. And it's interesting now that I've been using that name. People think it's catchy for whatever reason, but it focuses on the word joy,
Right.
not joyous, not joyful, which is probably what I would have said to make it grammatically correct. So again, we need to be open to the promptings.
No, and we should, and actually, most of us do. We consume words that have their base in the Bible or the teachings.
Yes.
And one of my favorites, which I've lived by, my mother lived by, was "Given ye shall receive," and the sharing portion. And there are other things that we say daily, but we don't really reflect on them. As where did they come from?
Exactly.
And maybe that point of reflection of repeating the words, or whether grammatically correct or not. Just listening to them can reignite something.
Mm-hmm. And storytelling is so important, and listening to others' stories. Sometimes we can make a connection with other people, and through what they have experienced, and they can compare that to their own lives. And so that's why I love that the show is an interview style show. There are some times when I might come on and give a teaching myself, but I love to talk to people. Kind of in my nature, it's what I've done my whole career. So storytelling is fun, but also I think very relational, and I think people get a lot out of that.
No, that's important. Even today, boy, the pandemic showed us that vividly. The comfort of hearing and listening, and
Yes.
engaging. Because many of us worldwide were sort of stuck in four walls, and we were always used to seeing or hugging and kissing people. So communication takes many forms, and the soothing, inclusive, and using the positively joy can come also in many ways. But I mentioned you're an author. What is your book?
My book is a devotional called Whispering in His Ear. There's a time when I felt like I had a very kind of clear connection to God when I was younger. Then we grow up, get into the world, get busy with our lives and jobs. And I felt like I wasn't really being able to talk to him or hear from him. This kind of a journey I went through through several years. So this devotional takes you through some life lessons of mine, exercises and prayers to try to help you listen to his promptings, speak to him through prayers. And it's a 30-day devotional. Each exercise or each chapter goes over 2 days, spend 2 days in each one. And I think it's easy to do, but also something that's also very relational. And I think it will make a difference in people's lives.
Well, we want to call it a workbook. I think we should call it a joy book, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's a joy book, full of joy. Yeah.
Well, Yvette, I want to thank you for sharing your time and your experience with us. Where can our audience find you?
They can find me at positivelyjoy.com or Positively Joy Podcast on social media. And you can find the book at my website or on Amazon.
Okay, and again, the book is Whispering
in His Ear.
All right. Thank you very much for being part today.
Thanks so much, Tom.
And for our audience, you can find more about Yvette Walker, and it's Yvette is Yvette, the last name Walker, Walker, and it's positivelyjoy.com, positivelyjoy.com, and the book Whispering in His Ear on Amazon. Café and Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information at their website, focusmi.com. Thanks for listening until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.